Before we start, I just wanted to let you know that this video contains some light spoilers for the Backrooms movie, mostly involving themes and characters. No major plot or ending spoilers. I finally watched The Backrooms, and honestly, I think this movie hit me differently than I thought it might hit most people. Not because it was terrifying, but because I've always loved liminal spaces. When I first discovered The Backrooms, what unsettled me wasn't the monsters. It was the silence, the fluorescent lights, the feeling that every hallway looked the same yet somehow felt different. There was something strangely claustrophobic about it, like being trapped inside of a place that wasn't supposed to exist, and yet I couldn't stop looking. That's why I've always been fascinated by liminal spaces. They're not really about horror, it's more about curiosity, the feeling of remembering a place you've never actually been to, and I think this movie understood that perfectly. Going into the Backrooms, I wasn't expecting constant jump scares. In fact, I was hoping it wouldn't rely on them. Some of my favorite scary movies are the ones that stay in your mind long after it's over, and that's exactly what this movie does. Instead of relying on shock value, it trusts its atmosphere. The endless halls, the impossible architecture, the feeling that something isn't quite right. For those unfamiliar, the movie is based on the incredibly popular YouTube series by Kane Pixels. What impressed me most was how successfully it transformed an internet concept into something that felt real. The Backrooms aren't just an idea anymore. It's a place, and every environment feels crafted with intention. The artistry behind this movie is honestly incredible. You can tell how much care went into bringing these spaces to life, and the actors were the perfect finishing touch. They made the Backrooms feel human. Clark was easily my favorite character. He's someone whose life didn't become what he hoped it would be, and there's a moment where he talks about finally feeling like he belongs somewhere. To me, that was the most tragic part of the entire movie. Not because it was scary, because it was relatable. Then there's Mary, who experiences a backroom very differently compared to him, and I think that's one of the movie's strongest themes. The backrooms don't change, the people entering them do. For some people, they're frightening, for others, they're fascinating. For Clark, it's a possibility. For Mary, it's something else entirely, and that's what kept me invested. Not the horror, not the mystery, but the idea that the same place can mean something completely different depending on who's standing in it. My biggest criticism is honestly that I wanted more. The movie felt short. I was so invested in the world that I wasn't ready to leave it. Overall, I think the Backrooms movie is absolutely worth watching, especially if you're someone who enjoys liminal spaces, psychological horror, environmental storytelling, or movies that leave room for interpretation. You don't need to know every piece of Backrooms lore to enjoy it, but if you've ever found yourself staring at an empty hallway, an abandoned building, or a place that felt strangely familiar for reasons you couldn't explain, I think this movie will resonate with you. Long after the credits rolled, I wasn't thinking about the monster. I was thinking about the empty hallways, the hum of the fluorescent lights, and why a place I've never been to somehow feels impossible to forget. The backrooms seem to become something different for everyone who enters them. So, I'm curious, what did the backrooms feel like to you?